Okay, here I am. Hello, meeting. I met somebody here. What was your name?
Glenn Carr.
And you are?
I'm the president of the Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 1229 here in New Brunswick, representing the drivers from New Brunswick and PEI, customer service reps, mechanics, and maintenance.
You've been pretty, you educated yourself pretty good with the media. You had lots of training the past few months.
I would say, yeah. I've been able to talk a little bit more vocal than I have in the past.
Yeah, I see that. I hear that. That's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you out. You're pretty vocal against the David Alward government. Why is that now?
Well, I just believe that we're being used as a political pawn. Acadian Coach Lines is using our membership out on the street, using them as a political pawn to get government money so they can get subsidy money from the government. David Alward, January 19th, we had members contact his office. I have an email in my folder that I can give you that states to our membership and to myself that he cannot get involved because of Acadian Coach Lines is federally regulated jurisdiction, and he's a provincial government. But yet, I'm out of town on the end of January, 1st of February, and I'm in Toronto. I'm at a conference, and I get approached by my international president from Washington, D.C., who was talking to somebody from the Motor Carrier Board that says that we're just a ham between the two pieces of bread, that we're being held out of service for political money. When I return home, a couple days, probably the 4th or the 5th of February, I receive an email from the Energy Utility Board that's stating that Acadian Coastline is in discussions. That's public knowledge right here from the EUB board on the Acadians' objection they put in on page 3 of the 6 pages, states that they're in meetings with the New Brunswick government, David Alward, and the DOT about money. And I can guarantee you one thing, they're not there talking about potholes in the road.
Really?
Well, wait a minute, I'm not done, I'm not done yet. So on January the 19th, we have members, and they wrote before that in December, but also in January, they wrote to the government, our MB government, and Mr. David Alward, and in his email back to us, it says that he cannot get involved because it's federally regulated, and it's also not in his jurisdiction. But on February 23rd, I received an email from David Alward myself that states, our government, Department of Transportation, has been in meetings and have met with Acadian Coach Lines, with the Department of Transportation, while we have 60 people out on the street and being used as a political pawn for government money. It's totally wrong. This company, Acadian Coach Line, owned by France, made 4.1 billion euros, that's with a B, billion euros, in sales last year, and $100 million in sales in Quebec, New Brunswick, PEI, and Nova Scotia, but yet they cry to the media and cry to our government that they're not making any money.
So that means the government at first said they didn't want to get involved, they couldn't because it's a federal issue, and now you really, really honestly believe that the Acadian Bus Line management really want money, subsidized money from the provincial government?
Absolutely.
No question about it.
No question about it.
Did they get some in Quebec?
They get a fuel rebate on their fuel they use. I believe they said in the media it was 18 cents per liter.
Oh, really?
That they get back from the Quebec government. But you got to remember, the Caisse Populaire owns 40% of Keolis Transport, which is the largest transportation company in France.
Caisse Populaire?
Caisse Populaire, who maybe you and my pension is involved in that. I'm not sure about that yet, but I'm going to look into it.
I'm sure you will.
40% of that money is in Keolis Transport, the largest transportation company in the world. And yet they're holding us out of service for money, crying hard times for money. You know what, that's not acceptable.
So you think that's the bottom line, is they want subsidies and that's the way it is?
Exactly. All they want to do is they want to have the run from Halifax to Montreal, and they don't care about the rest of the province. They've taken off one of the most profitable runs that came out of PEI, which was the Friday and Sunday evening. Most profitable run, they dropped it. The EUB let them do that. We think that the EUB got the wool pulled over their eyes. And let me just clarify that. Back when the Acadian Coach Lines was doing the schedule changes, they came in here and promised the EUB the world. They said that we're going to do the triangle, which they call it, from Moncton to St. John, Fredericton back to Moncton, from Fredericton to Moncton to St. John to Fredericton, from St. John to Fredericton to Moncton back to St. John, and then they were going to do 4 more express runs to Halifax. Once they said, EUB said, great, not a problem, we don't have a problem with that. As soon as they got approved for the schedule change, then they dropped those other runs. So,
Can't be trusted.
well, our government can't be trusted. I don't believe the EUB board can be trusted when they're letting this company pull the wool over their eyes.
How long you work for the company?
I've been with the company since 2008.
2008, so you want to know when the Irvings had it.
Listen, I talked to a bunch of guys that have been here for a number of years.
Is it better?
There's no comparison between when SMT owned it, and you got to remember, this company's been here for 85 years. Groupe Orleans and Acadians only bought it in 2004. So in 7 years' time, look at the charter buses that are out there today.
Yeah.
This company had all that business. These guys gave it all away. That's why Trias is so big. That's why all the other companies are so big. That's why when their lawyer said that there's 50 charter companies here in the provinces.
You got to give him credit. He did a good job.
Listen, he took half my questions from me.
I know. I almost said to the woman from Batters, let's go home. It's over. My God, he was good. One more thing. Why did they, I know that's not no concern of yours, it's concern of yours in a way, but they always moved the bus line from outside of town, from downtown. Moncton, they want to do the same thing, I think.
They've already done that.
Already done that. And Fredericton is nowhere like.
Oh, that's just in an isolated area. Costs you more to take a taxi than it does for the bus ticket.
Exactly. So I mean, wasn't that the writing on the wall that they weren't really interested in gaining customers?
Well, you know, one of the things that this guy that I am interested in is how his schedule system is. That's what Acadian Coastline needs to do. And I've sat down when I became the president of the union. I sat down with 121 years of experience because I'm fairly new, but I bring in all the people that have the knowledge of being here. Yeah. And they took that knowledge, we put it into writing, we gave it to the company, they threw it in the garbage. They didn't listen to anything. They need to bring the service back to the people of New Brunswick, PEI, and matter of fact, the Maritime Provinces, to the public's wants and needs. That's what needs to be done.
Exactly.
This schedule that this guy has, where he's going to the universities, we've been telling them that for years to go get an application. Yeah. They have it in St. FX. They have the students run that agency in St. FX. They could do the same thing in Mount A. They could do the same thing in St. Thomas. They could do the same thing in the University of New Brunswick. They could do the same thing in the UMB in Fredericton. You know, in the Miramichi, they could do the same thing. Matter of fact, in St. Andrews, they could do it with the NBCC.
Scheduling, yep.
You know, and make those stops. And if they built on what they could get, would be a lot better than what they're not getting.
Where did you used to work, you anyway?
I used to be a real estate agent, actually.
Real estate? Oh, that's why you're such a good talker. Listen, thank you very much.
All right.